Hello, good morning. Oh, my watch is saying 10:25. Why am I on early? Because you know I like to test the tech. So we are live on many places only because people look at different places. So we're YouTube, we are Facebook main business page, we are Facebook group, and we also live on my website. So I'm just going to check all of those. And whilst I'm doing that, I just want to see if you can hear me all right. I've got a little bit of music playing in the background. So if you can hear that, that's fine. I think that's fine on YouTube. I should be able to see that. Oh, marvellous. Thinking the group will be fine as well. And let's just check the website. This is the one I'm particularly impressed with. Let's see if we refresh. Will that be happening? And let's just check the website. This is the one I'm particularly press play. And we're there as well. Excellent. Right. I'm going to close all these down because it echoes. Let's just come out of there. And I think we're there. So I haven't checked YouTube, but it's going through YouTube as well. So welcome. We are on the website and everywhere. So if you're on, that's great. If not, now what about comments? I can see all comments if you're on anything that involves the YouTube, and I shall keep flicking back to Facebook as well. So welcome. So this is the first in what's going to be a monthly series called Chat with Cath. I wanted to call it Chatty Cath because I'm very chatty. But I don't know. There's too many diseases in there for mouth to mouth, so I don't want to do catch myself saying something I shouldn't be doing. So you're more than welcome to be here. Now, it depends whether you're enjoying the beautiful sunny day. Isn't it always the case that summer we've had a bit on and off, and then it's beautiful for the next few days, and if you've got children going back to school, but hey ho, they can play out again, which is marvelous. So we'll start going proper live at past. And if you've any questions, please let me know. I've got one screen for Facebook if any questions. So let me know. I can always flick in between and out of the modalities. So what sorts of a day are you having? If you're on live with me now, give me a few ideas of what's happening and how you're doing, what's happening in your life. Today it's such a beautiful day. I'm going to go to Clitheroe with my brother. My brother dearest. And we're going to go to Clitheroe. So if you've got any questions at all, let me know. And we're on Zoom as well. So we're in chat on Zoom. So I'm recording it different ways, so then people can access it different ways, because not everyone's on Facebook. But at past we will be going. So if you're there, say hello. And if you are, how's your day going? How's your day going? So you can chat through either live from Facebook or on Zoom, and then through Messenger or messages on YouTube. So I've got quite an action-packed 30 minutes for you. It might be less than 30 minutes. I've just scheduled 30 minutes because then we can have a little bit of a chat if you want to chat. Isn't this marvelous, this weather? So what sorts of things have been happening in your life at the moment? Let me know. Let's just get a little bit of music on. So hopefully that's not too loud. Just have that on for a second. So let me know if you've any questions. And we're going to go live at 10:30. Okay, so I think we're live now at 10:30. So welcome. So this is the first in a monthly new feature called Chatty Cath. When we finish with this, you'll have some questions answered if you put some questions in messages for me. If you haven't, don't worry. I'm sure that someone's asking a burning question that maybe you want to know. But if you find that you've got a question, just let me know. It'll pop up with technology as it is. So first of all, a little bit about me. For those who know me, you've probably seen I've had a colour change. I'm sort of like light on the ends and dark on my roots. So I just said to my hairdresser this week, I said, fed up of making decisions, you decide. So we like this. We like this indeed. Bit flicky. So that's what my week's been happening with. And I've been teaching Pilates since 2001 when I did my very first Pilates course, and it was with Rachel Holmes many moons ago, I think in Didsbury in Manchester, in a room where we did the course. Then I went on to train with Terry Baker and Northern Fitness, which is Northern Pilates or Modern Pilates, and then did various other courses. So that was all mat based. It was all very new at the beginning. I was the first in the area to offer it. And in Longridge, we had Alston Hall, which was an adult education centre, and I persuaded them to take up this new exercise concept, pilots, and it was very, very, very successful. We ran evening classes for an hour and a half. Then we also did day classes, and they turned into a weekend at Alston Hall, which very, very fun memories. So if you remember any of those, you're as old as I am. So currently I have a fully equipped Pilates studio in Alston, not at Alston Hall, but not too far. And we have the reformers, the towers, the Cadillac, the peddy pull, the ladder barrel, and the chair, and all the little bits and pieces that you have when you do a mat class as well. So that's where I am. I've been teaching exercise since the early 90s. Yes, with thongs and leotards and probably a headband, and my hair was longer and it was in a top knot. Do you remember all of those? So I'm quite aged and experienced. My qualifications are quite numerous. Basically, whatever specialism I have for older adult pre- and postnatal Pilates, nutrition, machines, apparatus, I've got qualifications in them all, and obviously insurance. So that's me. You don't want to go on too much about me because it's all about you. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Let's just check on the different websites what we've got. So if you're all enjoying the sun, please don't worry, it will be recorded. We've got the recording coming out, and obviously I'll chop these, and you'll be getting what you want. Okay, so the first question that we've had, or first series that we're going to do, is about SASSY. So SASSY is our studio apparatus class. So I've had a few. I've had one from Jane, I've had one from April, and then one from Fiona, all about the SASSY class. And there's going to be two parts to this. First of all, I'll explain what SASSY stands for. Well, SASSY was created by me as a group class, but it was named by Anita. She knows I'll always credit her for this, because I wanted apparatus, strength and stretch, but I didn't think I could call it AS class, because heaven knows what I might have got come into the class. But what I wanted to do was convey that this is what happens in a class. And it's the apparatus that's the difficult one to sort of explain, really. If you go on my websites, then you'll be able to see what the apparatus looks like. So we've called it SASSY because it stands for Studio Apparatus, Strength, Stretch, and You. Because it's your class, it's about you. It's what you want to get out of the class, and how do I help you get there using the machines. Okay, so we have a lesson plan every week, but it's very much directed to you, because if you come in with shoulder problems, hip problems, knee problems, easily adjusted. Okay, so we're never strict to our lesson plan. We teach the body in front of us. That's the usual phrase a lot of teachers use, because it's true. So with SASSY then, it's a group class on the apparatus, and it's more than the reformer. I'm getting a lot of inquiries who've done reformer classes, but they know, they're starting to realise that it's just a bit more than the reformer. Brilliant apparatus, really brilliant. But we use, like I said, the Cadillac, the tower, the chair, the ladder barrel, and the peddy pull, and everything else as well, the small equipment. So with SASSY, it's a rotational format. So it's a bit like gymnastics. You know, when they do a piece on the horse, and then a piece on the bars, and a piece on the floor. Very similar to what we do in SASSY. So we have it timed. Now, why do we have it timed? Because the main reason we have it timed is if I said, do say 2 lots of 10 repetitions, people forget to count. And that's the sole reason why we have it timed. So it's not that you have to do that exercise to the death for a minute and a half. We say that you've got 90 seconds to do the movement, not 90 seconds of the movement. So you can rest, readjust, get it changed, anything you like within that 90 seconds. Now, it sounds quick, but once you're into it, you'll think, oh, when's it ending? Are you sure you've got 90 seconds and not 90 minutes? Because some of the movements are quite difficult and they need a lot of effort. So, I mean, if it's two sides, like a right and a left, then we'll have 45 seconds on one side and 45 seconds on the other side. So once we've done round one, and each individual apparatus has a running theme throughout the month, and we actually have something called position of the month, which sounds a bit cosmopolitan, but it's looking at different aspects of movement or a particular move. So in the past, we've had shoulder bridge, and we've picked a particular piece of equipment, which was the reformer, and we looked at shoulder bridge, because you think, if you know shoulder bridge, it's where you lie down flat, knees are bent, and you lift your hips up and down. With the reformer, there's just so many other variations, but again, you only move up those variations if your technique is good to move on, because I can't move people on or get people doing moves where they haven't done the base moves, or if that move they're on isn't up to par. And I'm always thinking about safety on this. It's not whether you're elegant. Sometimes people just aren't elegant. I'm not very elegant, but as long as technically the move's right, then they can move on. And if not, we'll help them move on. It's not that, oh, we can't do it, stay there. We help you move on. So we find ways to help you move on. So it's done in a rotational fashion. Round one, everyone can do that one, but even in that series, we can actually have modifications as well. My client ranges from early 20s to mid 80s, and we accommodate them all. So round two is a little bit different. Round two can be a little bit more advanced if people want, but they've always got the round one moves to go to. And if round one hasn't suited them, you know, out the top of my head, I can come up with 5 different variations. So within a sassy group, we do each individual piece twice. Then in the middle of that, we come in, it's always sandwiched in between. We come together and we're working on balance. So I did decide originally to do a different theme for that little group section each month, but actually I'm going to stay with balance for a little while because it's just so important. It's not to say that other things aren't important, but balance is so important. So we come together, work on balance, work on our feet mobility, ankle mobility, toe mobility, knees and hips. We're staying with feet at the minute, and we're going to be looking at that each time we come to sassy. So round two comes, and then we cool down as well. So we warm up as a group, we do a little bit in the middle as a group, and then we cool down as a group. The other side of sassy is that it's very social. I can chat about anything till the cows come home, as you know, and it's very, very, very social. We have people come, and in some ways, without sounding too dramatic, it's like their lifeline. It's just somewhere they can come. We're in the beautiful countryside. We've got a lovely studio. They come, and everything else in their world doesn't exist. And there's been many firm friendships formed in our groups. Few of the ladies particularly go on holidays together. They support each other through lives events, and everybody knows their name. In fact, I was just watching Cheers this morning. Do you remember Cheers? And it's a place where everyone knows your name, and it's exactly the same in class. If you don't know it when you come in, you'll remember it when you go out. And we are so chatty, and it's quite therapeutic in a social chatty way. So that's sassy. So that's the actual class. Now, with regards to booking, so again, I like to be different, not just for different sake, but because people's lives change so much. I'm what I consider in a sandwich generation. I've got older parents and I've got daughter and granddaughter. And sometimes your time's divided. And if you find that actually I like 6 o'clock on a Monday, just book 6 o'clock on a Monday and that's fine. You can have that slot, just book it. But if you think, oh, actually, Cath, I don't know, I've got to care for this, I've got to do this, then look at your timetable and say, well, I can't come Mondays, but I could come Wednesday or Thursday. All we ask is book your class. That's it. That's the easiest way of doing it. You're not tied to a certain day, certain time, and you don't have any time frame to use your classes with. We're not a venue where you say, well, you've paid for 4, you've got to take the 4 in the month. What if you're on holiday? What if something happens? What if you're ill? So we try and make that as flexible as possible, but all we ask is that you book. Please book. And then what else can I say about Sassy? Oh, well, part of Sassy as well is the social side. And then that leads me on to our social events. So it's sort of an extension, and we go out for meals. We've been to Angels, which has been amazing. We've been to Hamadan. We go out to, it's not all food, mainly food though. We've been to John Ditchfield's, the glass blowing experience at Windy Harbour. We've been to Salisbury Hall Christmas fair. We've done quite a few things. So it's not just a class. If you want to get involved with the social, that's great, and just meet new people. So that's Sassy. I'm going to talk about one-to-ones because I've had a message from a lady called Margaret. She's not sure about doing Pilates, and she's seen the website and she's seen all this equipment, and she says it looks scary, and it really isn't. So the equipment is there to help you. Okay, I mean, if you looked at a car, you'd think that would be quite scary, but once you've sorted it out, you can, if you drive, you know what a car is all about, and you can drive. And exactly the same for the one-to-ones. So what happens in a one-to-one? Well, first of all, if you've got a really good idea that you want one-to-ones, we invite you down to the studio so you can try it out before you buy. So again, we don't say, well, buy 6 sessions and we'll do an assessment and then we'll do the rest. We want you to make sure that, first of all, we're right for you and that we can help you. That's always been our mantra. There's times when I have referred people on and they've been to see a physio or somebody else. I've even had where I had to stop teaching somebody because it really didn't look well. Turned out he had a heart condition that he wasn't sure about, but he did not look well. And I said, we have to stop. And I'm almost demanding that you go to urgent care. Turns out, yes, he had a heart problem, didn't know about it. So, I never shy away from referring. I know my limits with it, despite all the training that I've had. I know my limits and we work to those limits. So the one-to-ones, then you come in, we have an assessment, chat, you're right for us. We like you, you like us. It's like an interview. Think of it as an interview. You're going to be spending some hard-earned cash with me, and I want to know that you're happy, A, with the setup, B, with me, and C, what we can offer. So I just don't take people's money. I need to know that we can help. So typically, you get that session free. We call it a discovery session. And then we'll start either a 6-week course or a 10-week course. And depending on what your goals are and how long you're with us, the format's more or less the same. It does slightly differ. So on the 10-week course, we do quite an in-depth assessment of your posture. We use a posture app as well that will help. If you're doing 6 weeks, then we'll do a visual posture. It's just the time it takes, and I'll just need to get as much in with 6 weeks. With 10 weeks, we've just got a little bit more time to do these things. So from there, we look at your goals, we look at what you want to achieve, and then we formulate a plan. Now, within formulating a plan, we have, not that I see things in visions like Doris Stokes, I often see things as things in my head, and it's what people want and what people need. Now, the need bit is sort of like my input, and then the want bit is the client's input. And what do I mean by that? Well, you might come with sore shoulders, so we'll sort your shoulders out, but within that, we'll also really look at your posture, because if you've got sore shoulders, it could be that you're on the phone too much, you're reading too much, you're sewing, whatever it is, we look at that. Also look at your lifestyle as well. We can, on the 10-week, do a body composition and blood pressure and waist measurements, if that's something that you're interested in. And then we look at your program for either 6 or 10 weeks. Do they have to be weekly? Ideally, yes, but we have holidays. I have holidays. You have holidays. Things might crop up, but we want them as close together because of the benefit of doing them close together. And it also means as well that you're less likely to not do your homework. So I like to give homework each session. It's tiny, honestly. It's the tiniest homework you could ever imagine. Then what happens after the 6 or 10 weeks? Well, you can stay a one-to-one client. And again, same process. We'll look and see where you were, see where you are, see where you want to go. Or if you've come for 6 weeks and you want to join Sassy, rewind this and then you'll know all about Sassy. There you go. So I'm just going to check if we've any new questions because we're all on different platforms. Let's have a see. I'm quite warm. I'm quite warm. Who's not warm? I'm quite warm. Let's have a see. Okay. Oh, so I've had a message on Messenger. Okay, so this is from Diane, and it's about the nutrition. She must be listening somewhere because she's mentioned about the nutrition. And did you get that from the fact that we weigh and measure and things? Right. Okay. So if you did, then that's fine because, yes, we can do that. So I've recently qualified as a nutritional advisor for health and fitness. Not qualified to talk about supplements because, again, that's a really big area and a big question mark on whether we should be having them in a regular diet. But what we can help with is weight loss if that's what you want and weight management. So we're going to be bringing out something called the Hera coaching program. Now, who's Hera? Hera is one of the Greek goddesses. She was a wife and sister to Zeus, which is very random. And she's sort of like a goddess of women, goddess of power, goddess of sort of good living, really, and being woman, being female. So I'm going to call it the Hera coaching, Hera, and that will be in there as well. So from there, we can do more or less the same. Oh, here we are. Yeah, thank you. Hera, Hera, if you didn't get that. So I've just had a message where we're going to be looking more holistically at what we can offer you. So that's going to include the Pilates if you want, or more fitness-based, and the coaching as well. So the diet industry does drive me insane. Okay, it is really simple, but then it can get really complicated. Why is it simple? Because if you eat a certain amount, you see my hands, and then you work out and your energy expenditure is a certain amount. If you eat more than you're working out or using your energy, you're going to put weight on, and we need to tip the scales like that. It's how you do it. Now, everyone and his dog, especially on social media, TikTok, I can't even remember all of them, Instagram, they're all there with what's worked for them. And there's a lot of science in what's worked for them, and that's good. But what I want to offer is, what I think I get frustrated with is that, say, Anne-Marie, let's use Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie came size 22, really bad eating habits, wasn't sleeping, bad digestion, headaches, all those sorts of things. Possibly type 2 diabetic, or at least pre-diabetic. And then within 6-12 weeks, she is that thin and everything's back to normal. Now, I'm not sure how realistic those are, and I'm not knocking them at all because they're not all like that. I know I've just given it a huge extreme. But what I want to do is look at changing your habits for life. So it's not a diet. It's not a 6 weeks this. It's not a 12-week that. It's going to be an ongoing process where we just check in. We say, look, what do you want this month? Do you need much help this month or not? Do you want the full program this month or not? Do you want to sign up for a set program? And then we'll reevaluate it and let's see where it takes us. And I'm thinking that you don't need me to say, well, oh, let's have a think. I've got choices. Do I eat a packet of crisp or do I have an apple? I think we've moved on from there. We know what to eat. There's different things in our head, different things in our lifestyles that's stopping us doing that. And that's what I want to address, because otherwise I'd just be like anybody else selling a diet program that you do these 6 steps and you'll be thin as a rake and thin as my Sharpie pen. And I'm really convinced people don't want that. They just want to be healthy. If you're postmenopausal or going through the menopause, then you may have had problems there as well with extra tummy fat going on. And with the best will in the world, do we have the time? Do we have the inclination to go on the very, very stringent, very strict regimes that will make you into my Sharpie? Some people will, and good luck to you. I have no beef whatsoever with those programs, none in the least. I want to work with people who are overweight, stressed, don't sleep very well, maybe have a long-term condition, maybe. I've got exercise referral as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I always forget one of them. So we can work with a lot of people, and I just want to give them hope that their life is not as it is now. It can be changed, and you can be healthier, not stick thin, not muscle bound, but healthier inside. And you wake up with a spring in your step, and you want to go out on a day like this rather than thinking, oh, my legs won't last very long. So that's the hero coaching. Now I'm going to have one more question because we're nearly there. Let's just check in everywhere. People coming through on Messenger. Maybe you don't want people to see the messages. Let's have a look. Yeah, I got another one on Messenger. Oh, don't be shy. Don't be shy. No. Rachel, don't be shy. Okay, so Rachel's just typing away there. Just give me a second and I shall relay what she's saying. Oh, I've got a nice peaceful house today. My husband's out cycling. My brother's downstairs and he's with Hector. So it's just really nice and quiet. Just hear the birds outside. Okay, Rachel, your question. Okay, so Rachel is a runner. She's been running for quite a few years now. She's gone from the park run 5K. I know who this lady is. Park run 5K into 10Ks, and now she's doing half marathons. I think she planned to do one every month, which is a fantastic achievement. I won't bore you with the story, but I've actually run myself back in the day. I've actually done London Marathon twice. Yeah, I know. Don't laugh. I got my medal. I can get them out and show you. But Rachel's asking about her knee. She's having some knee problems. Well, first of all, Rachel, obviously I can't diagnose anything. That's not my role. I would definitely suggest going and getting it checked out with a physio, preferably someone who can do sports. And maybe first of all, look at your running. Okay, so it could be lots of different things. So your knee pain, it can either be at the front of your knee. I haven't got me an anatomical, but if you can imagine here, so that's the inside of my knee, outside of my knee, and then my kneecap slides up and down. It could be that it's some muscles that are not working, but one of the best things I can suggest is just gently massage around the area, and you might find some tender points. You can massage there and see if that can loosen them off. But we've got work on the reformer that we can do for knee rehab, and that might help as well. So I know I'm not answering your question, but I think the easiest thing would be to, first of all, get a diagnosis. We can certainly work that knee within the range of your pain and ability. That's no problem, and get the muscles around it stronger. But a diagnosis would be helpful. And then we can see about how you're running or how your foot's placed. It could even be a shoe issue as well. So yeah, that's it. Last one. Why are you sending me questions now when it's nearly time? Last one. Can Pilates be done seated? Absolutely, yes, it can. It definitely. It can be absolutely done seated. I started yesterday back at Bushel's house in Goosner, lovely place, and we just went through a little bit of history of Mr. Pilates, but also a really easy exercise. So I'm going to show you that now. Let's leave on a high and give you something to do to improve your posture. So I'm sat on a office chair. It's quite a good chair. I've got arms that can move up and down. I don't have them because I don't like the arms on them. But if you sit nice and tall, and you know your bony bits of your bottom, the ischial tuberosity, sit nice and tall, just take your back away from what you sat on. A dining chair would be good, or a stool. Doesn't work as well on a comfy chair or a settee, but a dining chair or an office chair. Sit nice and tall and just gently pull your tummy in. That's it. I know it's my best thing ever, and I'm telling you, that's my whole program. Just pull your tummy in. It's not, obviously. So sit nice and tall and pull your tummy in. Drop your shoulders down. Instantly, you sit on those ischial tuberosities. Your tummy pulls in to support the spine. So if you went back to a slump position, then everything falls forward. You lose the contraction and the tummy squeeze, and your pelvis just tips under and your back slightly arches. So back into sitting, you can grow nice and tall. So you can see my shoulders. Well, the top's more or less level with my little stand, and then I drop, and then I can lift. So it helps with breathing, digestion, elimination, and because it helps breathing, it helps you get to sleep better as well. So there you go. I am going to wrap up there. So if you're on Zoom, I'm going to end it there now. I'm going to end meeting for all. So thank you very much. And if you're live via YouTube on either Facebook or my website, thank you very much. I haven't got a date for the next one, but we will plan it. It will be out again. So keep your questions coming in. And I'm going to gather some more as well, because I know sometimes people are a bit shy. And I'm going to gather more questions in beforehand. And then we can sort of like do almost like a suggestion box type thing, but with a question, and we'll write them down and we'll pick them out of a fishbowl and then we'll answer them. So please don't be shy. Message me with your questions and I will see you next time. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.